What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Donkey Kong video. Today we're going to be talking about the future of Donkey Kong now. So, I know some people are already going to be commenting, dude, you got Bonanza. Are you really complaining now? Okay, let's get that out of the way because I already know some people are going to comment that. Yes, I'm already satisfied with Bonanza, and hey, if this is the last Donkey Kong game for like, what, another decade? I'm honestly content with that, honestly. This is probably the last Donkey... Now, this is probably the last, like, Donkey Kong, like, fan service like this we're gonna get for at least a few years. But I don't think this will be the last Donkey Kong game ever made. Are you crazy, dude? So, yeah, let's get that out of the way. But I think it'll be interesting to see where the Donkey Kong franchise is going now. Because it's not really just, you know, the era we're in. We're at, like, the beginning of the Donkey Kong Renaissance. Basically, what I'm saying. I haven't made a video like this, and I've wanted to make a video for so long about this, but Nintendo didn't announce a Donkey Kong game at that point, so I'm just like, you know, I've been making Donkey Kong speculation for the past, I don't know, since 2021, basically. Jesus Christ, it's been that long. But, of course, we're going to talk about what we can see next for Donkey Kong, honestly. So as we've been seeing with a lot of the push lately, we have the theme park, I've talked about for ages, and of course we have the movie synergy as well. And while I don't think Donkey Kong will appear in the Mario Galaxy movie, yeah, we're probably not gonna see him in the Galaxy movie, but we can say right now, I guess I'll get into the movie aspects. Donkey Kong played a major role in the first Mario movie, so I know it sounds crazy to say this coming from a Donkey Kong fan. I'm okay with DK not being in the Galaxy movie, and it's not really because, like, well, DK's never been to space before. Well, I mean, he technically has been to space, just not as much as Mario. He's had, like, levels, like, he had one, like, Jungle Beat, apparently Barrel Blast had one. That's all I can remember when DK ever went to space. But otherwise, yeah, he goes to space, but not as much as, you know, Mario. And really, like, I think it just makes sense to focus on new characters. This happens a lot with movies. They scrap some characters to make room for new ones. But I don't think this is going to be the end. We'll see the end of movie Donkey Kong per se, because, well, we're gonna get a Donkey Kong movie in the future. There's already been some talk of a copyright, and I know there's an account out there that says we might get a Donkey Kong movie in 2028, but I've heard that account's a little unreliable, so don't take that as like a for sure lock. But I think around like after Zelda, Donkey Kong will be next. And I know some people want Metroid or Luigi's Mansion, and also Kirby, and also maybe something like Splatoon. I'll talk about, though, I've already made a video on the possibility of Nintendo films like years back, so you can check out that video if you want my thoughts on that. Of course. So yeah, Donkey Kong movie in the future, and it would make a lot of sense considering the DK had a huge role and stuff, and like it would just make like there's just so much. The world of Donkey Kong, especially the Mario movie, is just so alive. It just would make sense to, you know, do a spin-off movie, especially after the sequel. So, yeah. So, we're definitely going to get a Donkey Kong movie. Now, I talked about the movies, and of course the theme park. I think the theme park will remain as is, as returns references. I don't know if they'll change it to match the redesign, which I have been knowing, haven't talked about much in a bit of how I felt with the Donkey Kong redesign stuff. I'm okay with keeping it. I think Bonanza is proof that there was a lot of worries of Bonanza being basically erasing rare stuff from history, only to have the best type of fan service yet in DK history. So, yeah, just kind of funny to think about, but it was also a fair worry. I don't blame them. But, of course, what about video games, per se? So, I know some people know Donkey Kong for the 2D platformers, the challenging 2D adventure games, and my take on that is, I don't know when they would make another 2D Donkey Kong, and I doubt this will be the end of it either. But whenever a Donkey Kong movie happens, that's probably the best time they release a 2D DK game. But I don't think we're expecting it next year or anything. But it probably won't happen for a bit, but I don't think we're going to wait a long-ass time for 2D DK. And hopefully, maybe we won't wait another 10, 11 years for Donkey Kong. Maybe Donkey Kong will finally be like a consistent franchise, like getting games every 5 or so years. Like, at least 5 years would be the right move for DK. 5, 6 years. Around like a 3D Mario game, basically. I know as we're approaching like 9 years since 3D Mario, technically, with Odyssey, but we're not here for that. I already made that with Galaxy 3. Go check that out. So yeah, video game wise, and as for 3D DK, yeah, we're not gonna see one for a while. I'm just gonna say that right now. But hopefully, based on the interviews that happened before the game released, they were talking about the possibility of having 2D DK games as much as 2D DK games and 3D DK games often, almost as much as Mario and like Zelda, and that would be awesome. Honestly, I know some. Like, you know, be DK to be consistent again. Because when we think about it, like, don't get me wrong, Donkey Country Returns on the Wii was really the return, basically, for DK in 2D. But I also don't blame anyone for, like, how it distanced some of the rare stuff. Like, it still kept the charm of what DK is known for. Like, the difficult platforming, the atmosphere, all that. Returns is a great game. But I just feel like Bonanza is really what DK needed, in my opinion. So... yeah, and let's also talk about like the other characters besides just Donkey Kong. So Diddy Kong has been having some redesigns over the years, and at the time of this recording, he's not been in the Mario spin-off as of now. So I'm wondering what's going on with Diddy Kong video game wise, to be honest, because he's in Bonanza, but he's not in Mario Kart World. I'm assuming this video will age poorly, whether it will be in Mario Kart World. Maybe it'll be in the new Mario Tennis game, and they just haven't revealed him yet. Now, I know there's been take of, like, Diddy Kong's eyes being separate, and I'm gonna be honest about that. It's such a minor change that it shouldn't matter, but it's also like, why did Nintendo change it in the first place? I think it works fine in some renders I've seen, but some other renders just look off, in my opinion. So, yeah, I wouldn't say this is an improvement for Diddy Kong, personally. They try to build off the Mario. This is, like, you know, based on the Mario movie, which I thought Diddy Kong looked pretty cute in the Mario movie, honestly, but... I don't know, the game just didn't translate it well, to be honest. At least with Bonanza, it didn't translate it super well. So yeah. Not a fan of the design, but it's not the end of the world for me. It's Diddy Kong. I'm still gonna play him in games. Whenever Nintendo wakes the hell up and frees him, the monkey, obviously. So yeah. Dixie Kong will also, I'm assuming whenever we see Dixie Kong again, we see all her with their separate eyes. I think it works well for Dixie Kong, in my opinion, so yeah. Now, what about Funky Kong? Where's Funky Kong been? I hope we see him again, honestly. Unless he's in, like, a Bonanza DLC thing, I don't know. And then, of course, Cranky Kong. He'll probably remain the same, of course, so yeah. And now I gotta talk about the big boy himself, King K. Rool. Yeah, King K. Rool is back! I already made a video on King K. Rool. He's hopefully here to stay. He even has an emblem now, based on all the marketing, like the whole New Donk City like area in Bonanza. So I think there's a guarantee that maybe King K. Rool will stay for the future of the series. Now he's gonna be basically Donkey Kong's Bowser in this case. So yeah. And there's a high possibility King K. Rool is gonna be on the big screen, and that just excites me, honestly. Like, King K. Rool on the big screen, the possible Donkey Kong movie is just so exciting to think about, honestly. I just can't wait, honestly, for that, whenever that happens. And then, of course, King K. Rool appearing in other games. Obviously, his DK series, hopefully in the next 2D game or whatever that happens, and I know there's been some talk whether if King K. Rool should appear in Mario spin-offs. Personally, I said this before, I don't need King K. Rool to appear in spin-offs. I don't, like, he would be like Rosalina and Pauline appear in spin-offs to, you know, for people to play the character. Don't get me wrong, I'm just trying to imagine King K. Rool in Mario Party would be kind of silly, but but still. I personally just I don't know. I don't want him to be this character that people would hate and being overused and, I guess, so-called have a one-note personality or whatever the hell people said about Pauline and Rosalina. So, I don't know. I just feel like there'll be moments like that, but it's Mario. People take Mario seriously, so it's whatever, I guess. I shouldn't care about that stuff anyway. But, yeah, I would love to see King K. Rool appear often. It would just be a nice, like, yeah, King K. Rool's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's here to stay. He's going to be part of the main cast of characters, basically, and hopefully we'll get some merch and some hopefully renders of him whenever that happens. Yeah, we'll see whenever that happens. Nintendo's gotta start talking about the King of the Kremlings eventually, right? So yeah. Anyway, that's all my thoughts on the future of DK. Of course, Bonanza at almost at 4 million sales by September. It's probably past that now. I can't wait to see Bonanza carry over during the Switch 2's lifespan. I definitely do think it's a possibility. It's like the next, basically the first 3D platformer on the system, and King K. Rool being the first final boss, basically. So yeah, it's just crazy to think about. They put Donkey Kong on the four on like part of the launch of the console. And I know there's been some comments. I didn't even mention the major parts. Why did they choose Donkey Kong and not Mario? I know, yeah. I said that dramatically as hell, but I already made that in my Galaxy video, so go check that out. But I think the realistic reason is if you put like Mario Kart was coming out, if you put Mario Kart and 3D Mario next to each other, 3D Mario is kind of at a disadvantage in my opinion. So I think it made more sense to kind of put DK as the launch than Mario, in my opinion at least. I know you wouldn't care about two major Mario juggernauts next to each other, but we have to be realistic here by Nintendo. So that's why they chose Donkey Kong and not 3D Mario. But don't worry, I'm sure we're going to see 3D Mario at least next year or two. If it's not by 2027, you have every right to complain. Alright, but anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. That's the future of Donkey Kong. The future of the series is bright. It's better than ever. I just can't believe we're in a great timeline for Donkey Kong, honestly. And it's just, I can't wait to see what the future of this franchise goes, honestly. So, yeah, can't wait to, it's not the end of DK content with Bonanza. We got more on the way, guys. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. What do you think of the future DK? You want a DK movie? What do you want? What video game wise? What do you want to see next for Donkey Kong? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.